Yeah. But please, throughout the rest of the conversations today, you can get interactive. And we have a WhatsApp platform. It's 054010-909. Let us know what you think about how you're celebrating the Christmas. And what's your favorite Christmas movie, for example? I always loved Home Alone.
I was about to say the same thing.
Yeah,
Home Alone.
And you know, there's this thing. On social media, when it's about getting to November, December, then they said GTV will come and
clean their tape.
They'll clean their tape.
Macaulay
Culkin will, but he's a grown man now, right? Justice Bieber. Okay.
So they're there. All right.
But we also do have a conversation on what was supposed to have been an intention of adding some incremental prices to petroleum because the MPA wanted to have an input tax in there. But we're getting news from the wires that it had been called off. But ultimately, we would also want to have some great conversations on the subject because well, the upward adjustments because of boss margins by the National Petroleum Authority would have resulted in those increments. But generally, throughout the rest of the year, we've seen prices at the pumps fluctuate. What could be some of the reasons why? So we'll have Raymond Luokbo, who is a research and policy analyst with Institute of Energy Security, also right here in the studio. And COPEC, of course, is represented by Duncan Amwa, and that will be after the next hour. So please make sure that you stay with us on the subject. Maps?
All right, Roland, I've got the Daily Guide, the Daily Graphic, and the Daily Statesman. All right, we'll start with the Daily Guide, and its top story: Parliament approves 2.3 billion Ghana cedis for roads. And this is from the Minister of Roads. Confusion over Kaswa Cops killers, lawyer Nana Kat sought for naval facility, and also district level elections today. And Major Mahama had no chance of survival, and that's according to the doctor. We're going to read a little bit on the roads. You know, the whole year we've been having, conversations. We had hashtag Fix Lekma. We've been having conversations about roads. And when you go out in the streets or when you're on social media and you ask people the top 2 things that are affecting you or the top 2 things that will influence your decision of who you vote for, most people say that roads and employment. They are unemployed, but they also need their roads to be fixed because, the roads pretty much disturb everything. If your roads are not fixed, you can't really do anything. So we've been having that conversation. So Parliament approves 2.3 billion Ghana cedis for roads. And let's read a little bit about on that. Okay, so the majority leader, Osei Chairman Subonsu, was particularly worried about non-releases of budget allocation to the Ministry of Roads and Highways by the Minister of Finance. He said in the 2019 budget, 900 million Ghana cedis of the amount allocated to the ministry has still not been released to the Roads Minister to execute road projects earmarked for 2019. And also the minority leader, Haruna Jusu, said the capping of the Ghana Road Fund by the Minister of Finance had robbed the Ministry of Roads and Highways open sum of 2.2 billion Ghana cedis since 2017. So he therefore appealed to the Minister of Finance to come back to Parliament and amend the capping law to decap the road fund. So we hopefully that this money that has been approved will actually be of good use. And we also know that Nana Kat sought for naval facility, and the Ashanti most wanted robbery suspect cage. One of the country's most wanted fugitives, Baba Musa, has been caught after more than 6 years on the run over armed robbery and other violent crimes in the Ashanti region. The fugitive was said to have been arrested on Sunday evening, and police had issued various rewards for information leading to his arrest. They've been searching for him since the era of the former regional police commander, COP Nathan Kofi Boache, when he injured a man during a robbery expedition. All right, so that's a bit from the Daily Guide. District level elections are today. The EC say they're ready.
Yes.
Yes.
And we had Dr. Srebwo Kweku in the studio yesterday.
Yeah.
He's the boss for elections, directing elections, so he's the director for electoral services of the Electoral Commission. And
we know that voting 6 a.m. to 5 p.m. So all eligible voters are therefore urged to go to their respective polling stations.
It's actually from 7,
yeah,
but you go there early so that from 7 you can start.
You can
voting.
start, instead of being.
The thing we've noticed since the Fourth Republic began back in 1992 is the fact that the turnout for the district elections have always been low. So we encourage a lot more people to go and vote. Unlike the general elections where you have a lot of queues, usually this one is not characterized by that.
But I'm also worried about the people who are working. 7 to 5, is that enough?
Yeah, it's normal.
And
you don't need lots of time to go and vote. It's just some short time. So
okay, but here's the thing: if I live in Kokomemle, or no, if I work in Kokomemle and my respective poll is, 2 hours away from my office, it's gonna make it a bit difficult.
Well, it depends. So that's why workers, managers, and those who are supervisors are always encouraged on election day to make sure that they give time for their subordinates to go and vote. It's a civic responsibility, so they tend to. That it's not a national holiday for good reason, and I think that it's a logical thing to do. You don't have to give a holiday for everybody. Because the rationale is the devil finds work for idle hands. Yeah. So if people are not working, it means they have to be lurking around there, voting areas and all that. So that's, I believe that was the intention of the writers of the Constitution. All
right, and on the back page, City face real test in Champs League draw. Real Madrid will play Manchester City in the Champions League round of 16, while holders Liverpool face Atletico Madrid. What's your team again?
Chelsea.
Chelsea. Okay.
No, we're facing Bayern Munich.
Yeah. Are you ready?
Charlie, that match. It's a very difficult match.
You're not sure?
Oh, I'm not sure. It's just that Bayern have been in great form. Yeah. Even though the Bundesliga, they've had some upsets, etc. But they are a team that have the pedigree in the Champions League, so it makes it a bit tight. But the only Champions League we won over the last 10 years was with Bayern Munich. So
you have hope.
Yeah. Yeah. Even though we played, what was it? Is it the Cup Winners' Cup or
something like that?
Yeah, UEFA Winners' Cup, something like that with them.
All right.
Yeah, and we lost.
Okay.
Yeah. Subsequently, when Mourinho came in. Okay, so do the Statesman.
All right, Daily Statesman.
Is that the second one you're doing?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, are you all right?
Yes.
Ghana is set for local elections. 57,000 competes today for assembly and unit committee slots, and that's the Daily Statesman. President commissions base to protect oil infrastructure. Let's see, we've got over 57,000 candidates compete in local elections. All eligible voters are informed that persons with disabilities are not required to join long queues at the polling stations and therefore must be given the opportunity to vote anytime they arrive at the polling stations. For 57,000 candidates. President commissions base to protect Ghana's oil infrastructure. There's an interesting article I saw, I'm not sure, is it the Daily Statesman, about President Obama, former President Obama, saying that women are better leaders than men. Women are better leaders than men. On Newsfile on Saturday, Samson was saying that we should vote for women to make the country a better place. Yeah, don't you think so, Roland? He said, well, former President Barack Obama said...
Well, I think so too.
He said most of the problems in the world came from old people, mostly men, holding on to positions of power. And what did he say? He just told us what a world would look like if women were running it. He says that women, we know you're not perfect, but I can pretty sure say that you guys are better than men. And living standards of living would change drastically.
Yeah, the thing is that if you take 1 to 10, and based on my own predictions, what the probability will be like that a woman, if that person is president or occupying a high office, will be corrupt, I think the figure will be way lower. And women will have more empathy because they feel this innate thing about being motherly, etc., caring for more people. So it makes a lot of sense to say if women are in leadership position, then they will create a better societal environment for people to thrive.
Yeah, but unfortunately, women are not given these platforms.
Yeah, true.
Yeah,
true. It's because
as soon as you come onto the platform, I mean, you are being criticized for nothing really,
yeah,
just
true.
because you're a woman. And I don't want to sound like a feminist or anything.
No, I think you can sound like a feminist. Please go ahead.
But it's difficult when you are trying to rise to the top. People always have something to say. And like Roland, I mean, if people are watching us now, more people will have something to say and criticize about what I'm doing than you. It's easier for you. Let's be honest.
I don't think I've been doing this job before you, so I don't think that
no, I'm just saying in general.
What do you mean?
It's an example, Roland.
Well,
I'm not putting experience or anything, but I'm just putting like male and female.
Well, I think that generally we live in a very patriarchal society or chauvinistic society because the males are always dominating. And so once a woman wants to rise to the top, that woman is always going to face that hurdle, and that is always going to be there. But if we have a conducive environment in which whoever is in leadership position wants to give that environment of equality or equity to women, then that would be a better way of doing the best for women to be able to improve their lives. Yeah. And definitely that will trickle down to other people. But I don't think that is what it is. Mm-hmm. For example, if you take Africa, apart from Rwanda, we don't have a lot of women who have deliberately been given the opportunity to serve in public office. Yeah. And that is bad because what's the best way to to be role models to other people is to create those people to be seen by others as being those who they can emulate. And if you put a woman in that stead, then you create a better society. And I've worked under some of the best women managers. Yeah. Those who have given me opportunities have been the women. I've been grilled by the men, but the women have given me opportunity because when I falter, then they give me one more chance. And that is what women tend to do more. They tend to give you the best opportunities and let you exhibit your talent.
Okay. All right. Talking about talent and women, Miss Jamaica crowned Miss World 2019. Yeah. I think we've had a fantastic time, a year for black women. Yeah. We know that Miss Universe, Miss USA, Miss Teen, they're all black women, and I think it's good. Well, it's very exciting. I don't know whether Mama V will agree with you, because Mama V is not a beauty pageant person. I'm also not a beauty pageant person, but some people are. And I think, you know what, black girls and black women are taking space, and they're taking space, which is a very good thing. Charlie. What do you have? You're very feministic this morning. Let's go straight away to the Finder. The Finder has on the front page, security for oil and gas. President Akufo-Addo cut sword for military base in Jomoro. We have rice importer Sukriza to mill and sell local rice next year. And that commitment has been given by Nabin Pandey, who is a country director for Sukriza. Okay. Dr. Baumia, meanwhile, has cut sword for a 100-bed hospital in Wale Wale. We're told that that's where he comes from, so that's a good thing. Obey electoral laws as you vote today, according to Codeo. And talking about Codeo, we have the co-chair of Codeo right here on the show. We'll be talking to Mr. Albert Ahin on the ongoing district level election, because we're going big. We're speaking to our correspondent. We're trying to get the mood at the various polling stations. Now, let's go to the Daily Guide. The Daily Guide has on the front page Akufo-Addo's advice to Muslim youth in Ghana: do not be used by politicians for violent acts. True. Be wise. Alex Mould, meanwhile, is on Kapa relocation. And the Daily Dispatch, I'm doing the Daily Dispatch. The Daily Dispatch. Akufo-Addo on the packed ambulances and Atake's take on the ambulances, all in the Daily Dispatch newspaper. Meanwhile, the aviation minister holds sale of 7 acres of Green Park at the Kutuka International Airport. Yeah. And we brought you all the latest related to many of these stories in the news. Let's go to the last paper I have, the Ghanaian Times. Ghanaians go to the polls today to elect new assembly members. The story has an attached picture of the Minister for the Sector, Local Government and Rural Development, Haji Alima Mahama. Down there we have minority hinting of boycott of CJ's vetting on Saturday. That we're raising particularly. Nusa Fuseni
Member of Parliament for Tamale Central, legal practitioner himself, raising related issues about he thought there should have been some tinkering with some thought of regional balance, some equity, etc. Even though many people disagree with him. Parliament has approved over 2.2 billion Ghana cedi for the construction of roads, bridges, and maps brought or told you about that as it was on the front page, I believe, of the graphic. Oh, Daily Guide. EC poised to compile new voters register for 2020, and there was a great argument that the Director for Electoral Services also made on the show yesterday in relation to the subject. Okay. All
right, quickly, before we go to online, Daily Graphic.
You have a... oh, we haven't done this?
Yeah, we haven't done great.
Okay.
Yeah, Daily Graphic. We can't postpone reforms implementation, and that's according to the Pensions Authority. Health Service team visits Mankesim Herbal Center, and 57,030 contest district elections today, and 48,000 officers and men deployed. We know elections, we need a lot of security. It's very important that people are secure, and we don't want anyone running away with the ballot boxes. But let's go to my join line, can we? Before sports. Benedict Owusu is standing by. Let's see if we can get my joy online quickly. All right, so supply Ghana rice to schools or face sanctions. That's NAFCO warns Baumia Katsot for construction of 35 million Ghana cedi watermelon factory. Surge in new polio cases in Ghana. Major Mahama case. Court dismisses bail application of assembly member. 5 Chinese denied bail in illegal employment case. And the Chief Executive Officer of the National Development Authority has been sacked. Osei Owusu hits back at minority over claims of rushing the CJ approval process. And the new Ghana Premier League season to have morning fixtures. We're bringing back the love. Our top story. What's our top story? It is beyond reconciliation. That's Nusa Fuseni taking on the CJ controversy.
Yeah, seem to love all the things about the morning fixtures for our Premier League that's about to start. And that'll be, is it next week or this weekend? Yeah.
Yeah, but
we'll have Friday games.
Benedict
also.
Yeah, is standing by.
Okay, so we'll tell us all the latest.
Yeah.
Stay with us. We'll be right back with sports.